All right, we are live. We just got a tornado warning here in southern Alabama, just to the north and east of Geneva here. This is south of Bellwood, heading off to the north and east. What we're watching is right in this region, right here. This is that inflow. You got that inflow coming like this. You got the winds coming around like that. If we start to see some reflectivity kind of wrap around like this, then that's when we're going to start to pay attention to this region. But right now, you can see that elevated reflectivity. And I've been watching, there's different live feeds in this area, and I've been watching, and it seems like, the wall cloud is right under that area of reflectivity. So that's where we're watching for the increase there of rotation in order to cause a tornado. And right now, not seeing a whole lot in that area. There's definitely an increase, though, in comparison to like some of the other frames that I've been able to see with this storm. People in the path of this storm is going to be High Bluff. You're next in line. This is traveling right along County Road, or let's see, what is this? Does it have a name on it? Does not. 41 there, and about to cross over County Road 45. So if you live in High Bluff, you need to be in your safe spots. After that, it's going to be Bald Hill, Bailey Crossroads, Wicksburg, Backham's Road, or Backham's Crossroads as well. And then, if this continues to try to rotate and potentially, have a tornado, Dothan is going to be eventually down the line. So you guys don't need to be going to your safe spots right now, but you definitely need to consider cleaning them out, making sure that, they're easily accessible if there's anything in the path of it or anything, and have your stuff together just in case this thing is still trying to produce by the time it gets to you. Also noticing this little area of debris maybe here. Let me just double check. We might have something there. Can't really confirm. I'm looking at the feeds here. I cannot really see anything. But there's kind of something right there, right where that little velocity couplet, that could be the beginning there of a tornado. We're going to have to really watch that closely. Not really seeing the debris or the reflectivity increase too much. But that could be a little weak tornado there. So we'll have to wait one more scan though, in order to confirm whether or not that is actually a tornado or not. Let me try to get chat up here real quick while we're in between scans. Save. Hop out chat. There we go. Sorry, I had to rush to get this started. Hey, thanks, Living Hope, for the donation. Everybody put birthday cakes in the chat for Living Hope. There we go. Live chat. And then come over to here. And then turn on the chat. There, yeah. If we get a confirmed tornado, we might try to use TorSim. This stream, we'll have to see. Yeah, here we are. We're literally right just to the north here of the Florida border, Florida and Alabama border, and pretty close to the Georgia border, but not quite there yet. Dothan. Oh wait, I have a live cam, some live cams in Dothan as well. Hold on. Yeah, right there. And then let's see here. Interact. Yeah, as you can see, we got a bunch of live cams right in the path of this thing. So if it does end up tracking towards Dothan, we will be able to get a view there of whatever is happening on the ground. But latest scan, still have a little bit of an increase of rotation right there where that mesocyclone, and still what appears to be a debris ball there. Is this confirmed yet? No. Man, that really looks like there's a tornado on the ground right there. Vince is saying it's a multi-vortex. Okay, so this is definitely on the ground here. Vince is one of those storm chasers that does not call a ball a ball. When he sees something, oh yeah, I see it on his screen. Yeah, he's got the tornado in his view. This is definitely a tornado. It's on the ground. It is approaching It's approaching High Bluff. High Bluff, you better be running to your safe spot. That is the lowest, most interior room of your house, with as many walls in between you and the outside as humanly possible, a tornado shelter or a basement that is underground. If you live in a trailer, RV, you need to be evacuating immediately and seeking sturdier shelter. But yeah, as you can see, when you look at velocities, you would think this right here is the couplet, but that's actually the inflow there, and the tornado is back here where that little notch is, and there's definitely a debris ball still showing up here. So this is definitely on the ground. You know, it's about to cross over County Road 45. So make sure that you are in your safe spots. Next in line is going to be 167. Unfortunately, there are, as you can see, some people that live in this region, County Road or Road 57 there, and it's crossing right into South High Bluff here. Right there, there's that velocity couplet right here. It's hard to tell. It's not up here. It's right down here, right where that debris ball is, and we're getting reports that this is a multi-vortex. Let me see. Can I see that it's still on the ground or not? I cannot see whether or not it's still on the ground. But yes, you guys need to be in your safe spots. I wish we could use Vince's stream, to be honest, but we can't. So I have to kind of watch and just narrate here. So let me see if this will work here. We have a little bit of time in between. And then we'll just do a de facto scuffed version of Tornado Simulator. All right, so we'll do this. Tornado on the ground. I'm not seeing it. Oh, that's wording. All right. We'll try to do that again after we go over this next scan. Next scan is showing, yeah, still a debris ball. Just crossed over County Road 45. Next is going to be 57. Again, if you're in the path of this storm, you need to be in their safe spots. After that is going to be Bald Hill and Wicksburg, Bailey Crossroads, near Beckham Crossroads. You guys need to be in your safe spot. This is a tornado on the ground. It's observed. It is a multi-vortex tornado. Weather spotters confirm. That's probably Vince there confirming that tornado. But yeah, just to the south of High Bluff, probably going through the southern portion of High Bluff there. Right there, clear as day, still a debris ball with this storm. If you're in the path of this storm, please be getting into your safe spots immediately. This is a dangerous storm here. Definitely has a couplet on it and a tornado on it. So please be in your safe spots. All right, so let's try this again here. Now we are in between. We'll come over to here, and then we'll put this just above here. Collapse that. Bring that under there, and then we can open this. Tornado on the ground, and then we could do this, and then go to 3D. 3D, please. I guess, yeah. We'll just do 2D, because this is going to mess it up. So we'll do 2D. And then we'll take this tornado on the ground, move it to here. Just like that. Should be fine. All right. Then I just gotta keep this right over the couplet. There we go. There you can see debris ball right there. We've got a tornado on the ground here, about to cross over Highway 57 again. Guys, we are here in Alabama here, south of Enterprise, and kind of very close to Dothan here. So make sure that you are in your safe spots there. We got a confirmed tornado on the ground. Latest scan right here. There's that debris signature right under this tornado observed warning tag. Not nearly as deep as it was. Not nearly as deep as it was, but it is still about to cross over 57 here. Then after that, it's going to be 69, right on the tip of this little reflectivity line here is where that tornado is. Right there where that debris ball is, directly under this simulated tornado. Yeah, it's a bad situation, that's for sure. Absolutely. You know, if you live in Wicksburg, Bald Hill, Bailey Crossroads, you need to be in your safe spots. Just bottom line, this is a real tornado. It's on the ground. This is not a drill. This is not like possibly a tornado. This is a tornado that is on the ground. You need to be taking this very seriously, and you need to be going to your safe spots. Lowest part of your lowest floor of your house with as many walls in between you and the outside as humanly possible. Let's go look at the latest correlation coefficient scan. Yeah, it's hard to tell whether or not this is still on the ground, because right here, that is where, yeah, there's still a little bit of a debris signature there. A little bit of a couplet there still. Thank you, Heidi, for the $2 donation. I do appreciate it. A little bit of a couplet still right there. That's where that rotation is with this storm. And there's still definitely a debris ball there. As the latest correlation coefficient just went over 57. It's heading towards 69 now. If you live along 69, 85 there near High Bluff, Alabama, you need to be in your safe spots. Let's zoom out a little bit. Yeah, right there. It just passed just to the south of High Bluff. I'm not sure. If this is if this is a highly populated region, enough to where the southern portion of High Bluff is considered High Bluff. So it could have just done a direct hit to High Bluff. I don't know exactly there, but you can see that it is very close to High Bluff. At least what this map is saying is High Bluff. But next in line here is going to be Bald Hill. So Bald Hill, you need to be in your safe spots. You're next in line. This thing is pretty much going to come either very close or right over you. Just waiting on the latest scans. That's all we can do. Again, this is an observed tornado confirmed by spotters on the ground. There are a couple of storm chasers in this tornado in this tornado warning. They were right next to it. It looked like a decent sized multi-vortex tornado, but the looks can be deceiving sometimes. But there's definitely a decent debris ball right under there, right here, right where this tornado is, right there. There's that debris ball still right in the right spot there. The velocities, yep, right under there. So it's all lining up. Definitely still have a tornado on the ground. Bald Hill, you're next in line. You're next in line. This thing is either going to go just to your north, or it's going to go, really, really, really close. So, anywhere in between Bald Hill here and just to the north, Wicksburg, Bailey Crossroads, you could be next in line here, depending on what this does. It could occlude a little bit. It could occlude a little bit to the north. Could occlude. So, Beckham's Crossroads still needs to be in their safe spots. Wicksburg still needs to be in their safe spots. And Bailey Crossroads. This still appears to be on the ground at this moment. Very clear debris ball still underneath it. This is not good. This is literally the only cell that could have done it. The line of storms that's behind this. Here, let's turn this off just really quick and kind of do a zoomed out view here. When you zoom out, this line of storms, there's been a little bit of rotation, but it hasn't really done much. Like if we go over to the velocities here, you can see there's really no area along the line of any tight rotation. There's been broader rotations, but they've all died. They've all died. And this storm is kind of all by itself out in front of the line. It's been ingesting some showers and having some struggles of its own, but for the most part, it hasn't really been too much of an issue until very recently. So again, Bald Hill, you're going to be next in line. If you're not in your safe spots yet, I don't know what to tell you. Right there is where the tornado is. It is coming right at you guys. It's still on the ground. Still waiting on that latest velocity scan. Okay, we just got that latest velocity scan. there's where the tornado is now. If we zoom in, that is 69. That is 69. Waiting for the latest correlation coefficient scan just so we can get a little bit more of an exact placement. But right here, this is the last known location of the confirmed tornado, and then right in this area is where the couplet is now. So we got to see, you know, is there still going to be a correlation coefficient under it, debris being lofted, or is it going to be or is it lifted? So that's what we're trying to determine here. Not that it matters. You know, still want Bald Hill in their safe spots and Wicksburg. Again, we're here in Alabama, just to the north of the Florida line near Dothan. If you live in Dothan or know anybody near Dothan, make sure you're sharing this stream with them, because if this tornado is still on the ground, this is going to come to a very populated region here. So if you live in Dothan, Midland City, or you know anybody that lives in Dothan and Midland City, you got to be letting them know, because on a zoomed out view here, if we take out our little measuring stick, we're just about 17 miles away from these regions. So they don't need to be going to their safe spots, but you need to let them know that this thing is nearby, and they need to be clearing out their shelters and getting ready just in case this thing is still on the ground. I'm not expecting this to be a long track tornado, but I am expecting it to be a cyclical supercell. So once this thing dies, it could come back. So right here, this is where the tornado would be located. Still waiting for that newest correlation coefficient scan. Yeah, 515, this was the last on there. And 518 is where the velocities are. So the reflectivity and the correlation coefficient is still behind. Yeah, we don't have any live views, so I have to go strictly off of radar. We do have a lot of cameras, though, in Dothan, so if this does get closer to Dothan, we will be able to, start to try to intercept this storm with the webcams. Really does look like the rotation is starting to die off here as some of these latest scans. Yeah, by 519, it's hard to tell, you know, if there is still a couplet there, because it's just so little rotation. I really wish the correlation coefficient would come back, or would update here. But yeah, latest scan here, you can see this is where that rotation is. Do we have the latest? No, we don't have the latest reflectivity either. Jeez. Yeah, this would be the estimated location of the tornado if it was still on the ground here. So Bald Hill, Wicksburg, and Bailey Crossroads there in southern Alabama, still like near Dothan, still needs to be in their safe spots. Any chances this could go PDS? I don't think so. The velocity couplet doesn't seem strong enough to me, at least on radar. We're pretty close to the radar, too. So, you know, if this thing was strong, like, you'd be able to see a lot more of an intense velocity couplet. But we're not seeing a very intense velocity couplet. It was stronger earlier when, we actually, yeah. I can't confirm right now. The velocity couplet to me right now doesn't look strong enough to be able to sustain a tornado, but it's kind of been the pattern of these storms. Like, especially when we go back to yesterday, we were covering the tornadoes, in Mississippi and Louisiana. We didn't really have those big strong couplets, but then we would have tornadoes. And damage being reported. So that's the thing. I really need to see this new correlate. There it is. Okay, there's the new correlation coefficient scan. Let's see. I cannot confirm a tornado on the ground, but we do still have some rotation. I would say it's tight but weak rotation on the storm now. Right in that region. Yeah, tight but weak. Still monitoring, though, for well, actually, we don't need to do this. This just kind of gets in the way. But yeah, I cannot confirm that this is still on the ground. I'm monitoring the feeds. Can't see anything. Looking at the correlation coefficient. There's nothing. Right here, that's where that little area of rotation is. And what you would see is little bit lighter greens and then like these grayish red colors, if they show up again right in this region, then we might have, you know, a new circulation starting to form. I see no reason why the storm couldn't, you know, try again, why it wouldn't be cyclic. The only thing that I can see around it that could impact it is we do have a couple little updrafts right here that do look like they're going to try to merge with this storm right now. So Vince is saying, well, Vince's chat might be saying that, but I see his stream. He's in a dead zone. He's in a dead zone. So I can't see anything on his stream. So his chat's just speculating. But right here, still watching it, still very close to Bald Hill, still a tornado warning. Bailey Crossroads, Wicksburg still need to be in their safe spots. These things can really wrap up fast and quickly. You know, that one, honestly, didn't really look impressive on radar until all of a sudden we had a little tiny couplet and then a tornado causing damage. And then that happened within, there was a wall cloud on it, a rotating wall cloud. That was pretty obvious on some of the feeds. But other than that, you know, there wasn't too much rotation with it initially. And then, you know, it just like a scan or two, which takes about 5 to 10 minutes, you know, it really ramped up and then kind of died off again. So, you know, there is not a tornado on the ground with this right now. Again, this right here, that's not the concerning rotation. Hey, thank you, Easter comes early for the $10 donation. Where we're watching is over here where the mezzo is and the wall cloud. And I've already confirmed visually when this thing was back here, we had Vince on the ground, and when the wall cloud went over him, it was where the reflectivity was down here. So what this is, and you can tell just by radar presentation, but it's always good to confirm it while looking at people actually on the ground. And there was an inflow right here, and that inflow pushes in, and the air kind of rotates on the backside, so it looks like there's a strong couplet, but it's in clear air, and that can kind of look like some strong rotation sometimes. But that doesn't really indicate that a tornado is about to drop. What you're watching is where the mezzo is, where the wall cloud is. You're watching that rotation because that is what indicates that you could be about to have a tornado. So that rotation up there means nothing unless we start seeing reflectivity start to go into there. So if we started to see like this red or wrap around like this and then wrap all the way around into like Wicksburg, and then we saw that couplet there, we would take that couplet a lot more seriously. But because it's in that clear air, and you know what's interesting, you can actually see the rain on that last little frame start to get transferred from the storm to the south over Bailey Crossroads into Wicksburg, still indicating that we do have some broad rotation there. Okay, you can see on this frame, there is no little bit of rain in between the storm and this little blob on the south. Then you can see it's getting sucked up into the inflow of the storm near Wicksburg. So we're still watching this pretty closely. There's still rotation right in where we're watching, still monitoring for a new debris ball. But what we're looking for here is not just any debris on the debris ball scan, we're also watching for the reflectivity to follow it. So right now we don't have a whole lot of reflectivity. The greens don't really indicate strong reflectivity returns. And when you have an actual debris ball or debris with a tornado, it also shows up in the reflectivity. And it's green right now, and that's not a big enough return. So still my opinion that this has lifted. We're watching it to see if it'll drop another one. Again, Dothan and Midland City are not in a tornado warning right now. I know it's very close and it seems pretty scary. And, you know, you should be preparing, though, you know, just in case they do extend this tornado warning for you guys in the next update. Make sure that you are ready to go into your safe spot. Make sure you have like your dogs nearby, your personal stuff like birth certificate, social security card. You should have that in like a little area, but then in a backpack. You know, take this time now just to make sure you know where your helmets are and stuff in the house, just so if it does get extended and a new tornado drops out of the storm, then you know you can have a plan in place to deal with that quickly, you know, by going into your safe spots. that way you're not panicking and you're not like searching for stuff, when you're running out of time to get there as a tornado is coming. But new mesoscale discussion. All right, let's check that out really quick. Okay, so this is the new. Ooh, we don't have it set up. Hold on. Let me get that set up really quick. Let's see here. So it could be this, and then this. There we go. Okay, so come out of this, then here. There we go. All right, so this is the new mesoscale discussion here. Looks like the professional meteorologists, legendary meteorologists, it's probably a better way to explain it, have issued an isolated supercell / tornado threat may persist for another 2 hours or so. Watch not expected due to short duration and small coverage area. So yeah, not expecting these to be long track, but we are expecting them to be cyclic, which means they'll produce a tornado. They won't stay on the ground for too long. They'll lift and then they'll cycle, and then which means there'll be a period where there's not a whole lot of discernible rotation, and then okay, there's that tornado warning. It has just expired. Okay, so we watch again. We start watching. So everybody that was in their safe spots can come out of their safe spots. Yeah, it wasn't on the ground. I already told you guys. You can tell by using radar. You don't need to it is helpful to have people on the ground, but there's a lot of telltale signals that you can look in a radar image and the velocities and the correlation coefficient to be able to tell if there's a tornado on the ground or not. There is not. That's why they let the tornado warning expire. These guys know what they're doing. Let me tell you. I was watching it right along with it, and there was if we go back in time, like someone who doesn't have a lot of experience watching radar, like they would have warned this all the way back here. And I hate it when I don't hate it, but it is annoying to cover this because it looks bad, and you have to tell people that there is like what is appearance of rotation, but what that is, it's contamination, side lobe contamination because of the inflow, and so that's not a real rotate. Oh, did they just reissue it? Okay, they just reissued it as radar indicated. All right, so it looks like they're still gonna keep people in the know of this potential rotation. But yeah, I hate it when they have it. When they warn it like super early for inflow contamination, and then you're watching where the meso is, which is back here, and there's like no rotation, and then it happens, they warn it, and then wait a couple days, still no reports because no tornado happened. But if you live in Midland City, North Dothan, Headland, and Newville, and also into Newton, you guys need to be heading to your safe spots. This storm has a history of producing tornadoes. We don't have any reports that it's on the ground right now. Not seeing any radar indications that we have a new tornado yet, but this is getting pretty close to Dothan. So let's come on over to our cams here and see if we can find. I don't think any of these are going to be facing into the air, but as you can see, we got a bunch of cameras there. Let me see exactly. So yeah, it's gonna go north Dothan, so let's find a cam on the northern side of Dothan here. These are traffic cams. So yeah, we'll have this one. Let me see if we can find one that's looking a little bit higher into the sky. Where's this one facing? This one's facing north, which is kind of what we want. One's facing south. And we might just have to pick a cam that's going to be in the path of it, which is this one, because none of them are really facing the sky. So we'll do a view live stream. Bam. All right. So this is as close as we can get. Let me change this to Dothan. Dothan, Alabama. There we go. All right. Yeah, if you know anybody in Midland City and Dothan, make sure you are sharing the stream with them. Right here, there's that little velocity couplet is right there. It's quite weak right now. That's where the meso and the wall cloud would be with the storm. Not seeing too much reflectivity with it, but I think that velocity is a little bit ahead. Yeah, the velocity is a little bit ahead of this. So this is probably like over like these buildings and not actually over this intersection here, because the velocity is pretty up to date. So right in this area is where we're watching for that new little couplet or debris ball to form. And as of right now, the kind of direction of this storm, oops, we are back at 75 frames. Let's go to 14. 14 should be fine. If you live in like Midland City, in between Midland City and Dothan, that's pretty much where this storm is tracking. But for Midland City, sometimes these storms, when they, get a tornado and the tornado starts to die, but it still could be a tornado on the ground, they can occlude up to the north. So just make sure, you are in your safe spots just in case that scenario ends up happening, and also headland as well. But usually they'll go just, in a not a straight line, they'll wobble a little bit, but sometimes you get some funky movements with these tornadoes. So that's why they make the warning pretty large, just in case that scenario happens. You don't want to be, as one, you'll be shrouded in rain when that occlusion happens, and two, if you're not in your safe spot, you're going to have very little time. Do I think the storms in west of Tampa coming northeast could produce? They're gonna have strong. I mean, they should have some better instability down here, but also they're gonna have weaker shear. The closer you get to the coast, the weaker the shear is going to be. So, there was a tornado warning earlier. I think it was over here near Mexico Beach, in between Mexico Beach and Felix Lake. It started rotating, but it didn't do anything. But yeah, I mean, there's a little bit of a chance, like a small chance, but you would need a little bit of an increase of shear. Maybe, with the onshore flow, maybe you could get a little bit of an increase of the vorticity down there along the coast. As this moves off to the east, I mean, that might cause some spin ups, maybe some water spouts could be possible. That does happen in Florida sometimes. Yeah, latest scans here, still not seeing a new debris ball. And there's that velocity couplet, still pretty weak rotation. This is not the velocity couplet, by the way. That's the inflow, and that's just air wrapping around like this. Still watching this area right there. Still not seeing anything that indicates that it's trying to ramp up again, but still watching it like a hawk. And again, these situations can change really fast. So don't be listening to my analysis thinking that, just because I'm not concerned with it now doesn't mean when this little frame moves just a subtle bit, we could zoom in and be like, oh, there's a velocity couplet and a tornado on the ground. So, make sure that you are in your safe spots still there in Midland City, Headland, North Dothan, and Newville, and also Newton. Newton's just outside, but if you live in East Newton, you should be in your safe spots. What do we say in Alabama? Do we have anybody in Alabama in chat? What do we say in Alabama when there's a polygon on the screen? If we have anybody in Alabama, they should know. No, you're not. Respect the polygon. There you go. I'm from Northern Alabama, so big James fan here. West of Tampa is going to be fine. What about Georgia? Still small. So there's still small tornado threat along with this line. Not a whole lot of instability, a whole lot of interaction between these storms, but there's a 2% tornado threat that extends all the way from the coast. Since we are waiting for the next scan here, I'll just show you guys very briefly what we're dealing with for the rest of the day. I'm not going to be able to cover the entirety of this event. I've pushed my estimated time that I'll be able to be live back to 7, but I already have some preordained plans that I have planned today, so I will only be able to stream to 7. But we do have a 2% tornado risk up here in southern Virginia going into North Carolina, South Carolina, going down into Georgia, all the way down into the Florida coast here. And we got a little 5% tornado risk, a little elevated area with 5% tornado risk. But right now, it seems like most of the instability is pretty lackluster across this area, and a lot of storm interaction. So the storm mode, lack of instability is stopping most of these storms from producing tornadoes. But this one was kind of all by itself, wasn't really doing any storm mergers, and that's why it was able. And it's in the more of the southern mode here, where there's a little bit better instability, and probably will be for a little while. Okay, starting to see with the latest velocity scan here a little bit more rotation there. Still not yet too concerning. Still waiting for the latest reflectivity to come through, though, just so I can line it up. But not looking concerning just yet. A little bit of an increase, but not quite at that threshold. Still, everybody needs to be in their safe spots because it is a dangerous storm. We just saw this thing drop a tornado. It could definitely do it again. Here in North Carolina, we get in our cars, go to the gas station, then... Okay. That's not good. And the event will last until... No, it'll keep lasting. It'll just keep lasting pretty much for the rest of the day, going into the morning hours. And then into tomorrow, we also have another marginal risk tomorrow. With a 2% tornado risk on the coast there of North Carolina. That's pretty conditional, though. I really don't know why it takes so long. Okay, here we go, finally. Yeah, look at this. So this is why sometimes it can get confusing, and sometimes people make mistakes when looking at this kind of stuff. Is that so this velocity scan is at 538. This correlation coefficient scan is at 540. So they're not taken at the same time. So, this is probably, it's a little bit displaced from this. So this is probably, since this was taken a little bit earlier, it's probably a little bit further. Yeah, right there. Okay, now they're starting to line up. All right, so we got there's where the velocity, little tiny, not so strong velocity couplet. What looks like could maybe be debris ball is not. Little inflow clearing there. No reflectivity around it. Kind of looks like this storm is getting a little messy as it is going through some of these storm mergers here. What's basically happening is this is rain and rain-cooled air. Storms do not like that. If it was up to them, they'd never eat rain-cooled air because they form inflows, which essentially pulls the warmer, moist air, which they do like, into the storm. But then when you get these little intrusions of cold air that come in, it cuts off that inflow and weakens the storm. So right now, that's what we're seeing. It's not a whole lot of rain-cooled air. So after this clears, we might have to watch it, but as you can also tell, it's merging with another cell as well. So a lot of different little things going on with this that's so far preventing it from strengthening that rotation. But there's a good shear environment that might not be enough for this storm or to stop this storm. So we'll keep watching it. Everybody, please stay in their safe spots. Absolutely. I've been watching this storm since or the storms since probably like 1 p.m. Because I told y'all yesterday I would go live if something caught my eye, and I was watching the storm on radar. I was watching Vince's stream, and then the wall cloud got pretty close, and you could tell that it was spinning. It was spinning. And the couplet showed up on radar. They warned it, and then I pressed the live button because I always have the stream. I had the stream completely set up, ready to go. All right, there's the new reflectivity scan, or we can call it the rain scan. Yeah, still not seeing any increase of rotation. In fact, really not much rotation with this anymore. Starting to lose concern about it. Let's go check some of these other cells. A little bit of very weak rotation there. Not concerning, though. Yeah, not a whole lot going on anywhere else here. Little small areas of like broad and weak rotation, but that's been what happening like the entire day. I've been watching for that pattern to change. It hasn't changed all day. Who knows? Maybe now could be the time when it tries to change, but you know, what's been happening is we get these little tiny little areas pop up for maybe a couple of frames and then they disappear, or they could become concerning. Clock is broken. It always breaks. Back in the day, all you had to do was wind it up and it would keep going. Dang, internet came along and now clocks break all the time. Wasn't this storm off the shore? Technically, kind of. It started off as like just rain showers off the shore. Let me change this to blue. Rain showers just off the shore, and it came in. I know it came in like near Crestview, kind of like in this trajectory. Came in near Crestview, and it's just kind of been slowly building strength as it collected some instability along the way. Okay, so this little area of rotation now is starting to kind of push into the storm there. But it's still very, very weak. You want to see like these kind of reds near these kind of greens in order to, you know, because the different shades denote different intensities. So the more faded it is, the less the intensity. The more intense the color is, the more intense the intensity of the winds going inbound and outbound. So these are going, in fact, I think this is... yeah, so these are going out. Wait, no, sorry. These are going out away from the radar, and this is going towards the radar. And very weak, very, very weak faded colors there, indicating very weak rotation. Yeah, also this thing, I think what's also saving us definitely is that it kind of seems like the storm is interacting with another. It was a more subtle updraft, but it's gaining strength here. You see more precipitation back here, and as that interacts with this storm, it just makes it more chaotic, and tornadoes don't like that chaoticness. Tornado warning expires in 30 minutes. All right. Still want Midland City, Headland, and Newville to be in their safe spots. Again, the storm is still just to the north. Let's go check on our cam, see if we can... Wait, where'd the cam go? Can we get that back up, please? Did it freeze on us? Hold on, we might have to do a refresh here. There we go. Checking our cam. I don't think we're going to see anything because it's definitely more to the north. But we might be able to see like a little gust front or something. Looks like a blob guy with squiggly legs. How will these storms be going later into the night? It'll pretty much be non-existent severe threat. You know, some damaging winds are possible. Very low chance though, 5% chance, and then an even lower chance for briefer and weaker tornadoes. Like after we get past this 5%, so like the rest of the night will mainly just be rain. Like especially, you know, the further north you get, the more these storms are gonna kind of struggle. But you know, heavy rain definitely all along this line, and a small tornado chance is there. So, you know, it's not something to lose sleep over, but it's also something that you shouldn't be unprepared for. Have a way to get alerts just in case you're one of those unlucky individuals that do get put under a tornado warning tonight. Because a 2% chance is not a 0%. It's a low chance, but it's not a 0%. Yeah. Stronger thunderstorm over here south of Radford there, but let's come back down to this tornado warning. Yeah, still not seeing a reorganizing area of rotation. Still pretty weak. If it stays like this for the next, like, 5-10 minutes, yeah, I was about to say, maybe, apparently in the next second, they're going to let this tornado warning expire. Because there is no rotation in there. Very little, very weak. Barely can call it rotation. There we go. Let's see if we can get, I'm getting some messages here on social media. Might have some pictures. Oh, wow. So here is a video from Vince Welty. I can't show it. I think Vince Welty has gone completely independent, which respect to him for doing that. Definitely, you know, will probably help him more. But yeah, there is the video of the tornado. Vince captured it. And yeah, check it out. It's a really good view of the tornado as it happened. Yeah, it is scary. Those nighttime tornadoes are scary. Yeah, we don't have any more tornado warnings. So we'll watch, we'll monitor it. We'll keep an eye on it. You know, but this storm is going to take a while. If it wants to reorganize, it's going to take a little bit, because again, it's going through a lot of stuff. It's like going through a rough patch right now. It's getting all these interactions from all these different little things. You got this rain cooled air out in front of it. You got this other storm behind it. You got this cold front approaching with even more of a rough patch there for this storm. So, you know, very happy though that it's not doing well. When a storm's depressed, we don't tell it to get a therapist. We celebrate, because we don't like it when storms are happy. When storms are happy, they're getting all that instability, they're getting all of that rotation, and they're causing problems. When the storms are happy, people aren't. Not seeing really any other areas of this. Chazzy, I hear you whining. Dog's whining. I know. Oh, you're so sad. I know. And just checking all the way up the line here, just to make sure there's no extra surprises. We do have snow going on up here, or some mixed precip. That's been happening. I do want to check on that really quick. Just briefly. I'll be back down in the south really quick. I am not going to forget about you guys. I just want to look at this. See how it's turning out in comparison to the models that we're looking at. Wow. Yeah, just a whole lot of mixed precip, and that's about it. So potentially very heavy snow over here near Watertown, Brockville, Odensburg, Peary Point, and Governor. Not sure how much that's going to stick, though. If that cool air can stick there around there for the rest of the night, that could be quite a few inches of accumulation there. So we just got that tornado report here. Train spotter. Okay, that was something we already knew. All right, let's change this title. Since that tornado warning expired. Tornado threat coverage. With hundreds of webcams. Most of them are useless right now. Hold on, this is about to go over that one cam. Whatever is left of that, but we might be able to see some rain from the cam. Why? Why does it keep... It seems like every time I, like, click out, OBS does not remember what I was doing. Then I have to refresh it, zoom back in. It doesn't make any sense. Let's come back over to here. Come on. Work. There we go. Yeah, some rain. Look at that. Look at us. Professional. Whoa! Okay. Maybe a little bit more than rain. But look at us. Professional storm chase or traffic cam chaser. In a little bit. Yeah, I guess so. I've been going live a lot lately. Damage in Gorham is limited, but there are some trees that fell on homes. Oh, okay. Thank you for that. For Daldisha, yeah. If that changes, I'll let you know. Just stay tuned. Keep me in the background if you're driving. Look at the power lines swaying a little bit. We might get the RFD of this thing if there is any still. There's usually gustier winds on the southern side, and it's about to go directly over. Let's pull up. Ah, that's what it does. It's like as soon as it like refreshes and then freezes. Like there's nothing I can do here. I can't click on anything. It's annoying. Maybe those cams aren't as good as I thought they were. Would have been still helpful, but yeah, that cam's located like right here where this part of the storm is. Still not any increased areas of rotation that are concerning me. Still very broad, diffuse rotation going over Highway 231 now. Heading towards Grimes and Southgate. But still going through some problems. Vince has got great... Yeah, Vince is... he's the real deal, man. He's really good. It was a shame. We used to work with Vince, but I guess he went independent. Because he doesn't share his stream with anybody anymore. He used to share it with me, Max Velocity, but he doesn't share it. He cut it off. So, I'm not 100% possible or positive what happened there, but I'm pretty sure he just went independent. Is there is an issue with like YouTube and all that kind of stuff. Where like you can get stuff taken down if you share out your stuff, and it can affect your analytics. So him making that move probably was for the benefit of his channel, and you know, I'm totally fine with that. He deserves all the you know, I don't even know how to respect, all the respect, all the progress, all the success. That's what I was looking for. All the success in the world, because I mean, dude's a really good storm chaser. He doesn't even live down here, and he was storm chasing this and caught that tornado. He lives up here. He drove all the way down here to cover this to make sure people knew what was going on the ground, and now he's all the way down in Florida. Dude drives probably more, especially in tornado season, probably more than your average truck driver. Yeah, still not seeing any increased rotation on this thing. Let me check other storms just to make sure we're not missing anything. Yeah, not really seeing too much along that line. I know, Chazzy Poodle. Well, interesting little kind of that's an inflow, no? Yeah, a little bit of increased winds with some of these storms up here. Not really seeing a whole lot of concerning rotation. And we're also looking up really high up into the storm. But sometimes these winds can make it down into the ground, and, you know, we'll get a report out of it. And then, you know, might start to see some of these storms go severe warned, like around here near Americus. That's in Georgia. Still got this guy over here south of Monticello. Doing exactly the pattern that we have seen with most of these storms up with the line. Could change. We're monitoring for that change of the pattern, but this has been the pattern. You know, sometimes we get a little bit of a tight rotation, and then it broadens out and forms a little gust front along the edge there, and then the rotation starts to slowly die. Potentially some hail with this one. Just to the north of Rudden. Check the national radar here. It has a little hail setting on it. Nope, no hail. According to it, at least. Might be some small hail, but won't know unless we see any reports on the ground. Can't confirm it with radar. But yeah, rain and thunder coming up into North Carolina. A little interesting area here of some pretty broad and weak rotation. Not concerning, but yeah. Not seeing anything. Not seeing anything. Keep an eye on it, though. You never know. Sometimes things can get pretty quiet, then they ramp up. Sometimes things get quiet, and then that's it. You're in DeSoto, Mississippi? Okay. I do not have a 10-minute delay on my stream. Here, let's test it. Everybody type 1, and then I will say 1 afterwards. And then that'll be the delay. 1. I have the lowest delay setting possible. You might be behind in the stream. There's a little live button next to the play button. Just press that. Press that button, and that should get you current. Yeah, guys. If you haven't liked the stream yet, please consider liking the stream. Also consider hitting that subscribe button too. We do nationwide coverage all the time, especially if you live in these areas. We're getting in that time period where increased severe weather is going to be impossible, kind of in this region here. It's not guaranteed to happen. Definitely not. But when we get into winter, that is the areas that are climatologically speaking, do get the most tornadoes during the winter time. So if you live in these areas, hit that subscribe button. You don't have to show up every forecast or whatever if it's not for your area, but you never know when you might need me. It's always good to have me in your back pocket. So consider hitting that subscribe button. 1 confirmed tornado so far. Yes. Delay of 2 seconds. Yeah, if there's one at all. Yeah, very small delay. It requires a little bit more computer power. Whoa. A little interesting thing here. Huh. The reflectivity with that? I'm gonna have to wait one more scan. That's not a convincing debris ball. There's a little couplet there, though, as of the latest scan here. We'll wait one more scan. You kind of tell there's an inflow here, kind of wrapping in. So that might be at the very tip of that inflow, but there's that couplet right there. Potential little something there, but it's too small and too weak to classify as a debris ball, and the rotation's quite weak as well. It could just be contamination, but it's worth investigating, so we'll have to wait one more scan. But yeah, for most of the folks out in front of this storm, like in Americus, Albany, Bainbridge, Thomasville, Valdosta, Tallahassee, the highest chance of anything happening tonight is rain and lightning. That's what you should expect, but also have a way to get alerts because there is a low tornado chance out there. I'm only going to be able to be live till 7 because I got to do something that I've already pre-planned before even yesterday. But other than that, just make sure you have a way to get alerts. But I'll be here till 7, which is a whole nother hour. If anything happens in there, we will definitely have that coverage for you. When I go offline, just make sure you have a way, there's local people, meteorologists and weathermen out there that will, on TV, that'll definitely interrupt whatever show you're watching to make sure that you are safe from the storms. Little couplet north of Dorth. Yeah, we just pointed that out. What will you see? Most likely rain. That's the highest chance. Highest probability is rain. Yeah, the next scan, it disappeared. And I'm sure this couplet will disappear too, meaning it was most likely just like a small little increase of rotation there. Does kind of seem, you can tell there's, you guys don't know what this means, but there's a little bit of an outflow boundary here. And with this latest correlation coefficient scan, you can see a little bit better, kind of wrapping in, which is cooler air. It's kind of starting to circulate around the storm, which might keep on preventing this storm from doing anything more after this point. You can see kind of extends down here. You can see that outflow boundary is creating a little bit more precipitation and rain, and it's pulling up into the storm. It really doesn't have much of an inflow into it. You kind of tell there's still an inflow on this correlation coefficient. A little bit of an inflow there still. Yeah, see, the couplet disappeared. Yeah, that was nothing. We had to investigate it, though. Had to investigate. No. Yeah, as of right now, I mean, we're still watching the storm, but the only other areas of, like, there's no other areas of, like, concerning rotation. This right here, this is that inflow wrapping up, and this is just air wrapping around it. You know, if it gets tighter, if we start to see these reds and greens touch, and we start to see the storm organize a little bit better, then we'll start to, you know, be a little bit concerned, but that's not about to get tornado warned. Unless the person that's watching it is like inexperienced in the NWS, which happens every now and then. Like yesterday was weird, man. Well, I think we caught like 2 or 3 tornadoes that didn't go warned. There's this one tornado we caught yesterday. It wasn't warned for like the longest. I think it was like, what was it, like 15, 30 minutes it wasn't warned, and we were watching it, and then it got warned. And then, you know, they warned it as radar indicated, which means there's no tornado on the ground. But there's a very clear couplet there and a very clear debris ball, just like we've been talking about, like what's happened over here. With this confirmed tornado, we saw the same thing with that one. And then after the debris ball goes away, they issue an observed warning for it. I think that's how the series of events went. So sometime, every now and then, you know, just like me or anybody else, the NWS is human. Sometimes they make mistakes. They're not perfect. Thank you, Judy, for the $5 donation. Says, Evan, thanks for popping on. Yeah, absolutely. No problem. No problem. I told you guys I'd be watching it, so it didn't look like it was going to be eventful. It looked like the Cape was a little bit on the low side. And then this little, you know, this little more isolated cell started to form down in Florida, and I was watching it. Let's see here. Still very broad, unconcerning. One thing that's also happening is that this storm is getting eaten up by this line. So it's about to transition into what these storms are, because they're pretty much all in the same environment. So it might just have one more shot, probably about 15 minutes, like 5 to 15 minutes to really try to do something here before it gets overtaken by this cold front. It's already interacting with part of the inflow every now and then, but I'm not convinced that it's completely absorbed into the line just yet. But we'll keep an eye on it. Dothan safe from this storm. Yeah, that tornado warning has expired, so if you were in your safe spots, you can come out. But there is some rain on the backside. I'm not thinking that's going to be much of a tornado threat. We could maybe see a spin up out of it, but you know, the pattern has been anything along this line has just not been able to produce too many storm interactions, not enough instability. You know, we have seen rotation along the line, but it always dies out. So that pattern has not changed for the last 5 hours. It could always change. We're always watching for the patterns to change, but as of right now, it's kind of the opposite of the pattern. We're not even seeing rotation down here. So most likely rain, but we'll be watching it by the time it gets into Dothan. So if anything changes, we'll let you know. Forsyth. Let me see this. Forsyth, Georgia. Yeah, you guys are getting some heavy rain right now. No concerning rotations around you, so it's just going to be heavy rain and lightning for probably about the next 15-20 minutes, and it's going to clear out. Maybe some spotty, lighter rain after that, but then it's going to be drier on the backside of that. There's not any storms forecasted to form after this little bit right there. So this whole area back here gonna be dry. I wonder what the temperatures are gonna be on the backside of this. Was this a little warm today in northern Alabama? I thought after the front came through it would get a little cooler, but I haven't been looking at the temperatures though, so don't ask me too many questions about the temperatures. I have not been looking at them. I've been paying way too much attention to just trying to predict this stuff. I've been neglecting the temperatures. Let's see, in the 50s right now. Very subtle cold front, but you can tell 50s over here and then 70s out in front of this line. So we'll get a little bit cooler on the backside. Oh yeah, I was live for 9 hours yesterday. I was live for 9 hours. Yeah, this is starting to look concerning. A little bit tighter rotation, but again, that's in that inflow again. I just don't like how uncomfortably close we are to this radar. That's the only thing. So it might get a tornado warning here if that continues in this direction, because the radar, being close to the radar, kind of distorts the view of the storm. So it's hard to tell whether or not that rotation is truly in the inflow. No, that's in the place it needs to be. That's a little bit concerning. It's still a little bit broad. You can see we have those lighter greens, those lighter reds, and these faded colors in between, so it's still a little bit broad. Not super concerning, but definitely an uptrend there of the strength of that broad rotation and how tight it is. It's a little bit tighter than it was, but not tight enough just yet to be too concerned about it. But hopefully the next scan just shows this rotation do what most of the other rotations have done in this line. But like I said, it has about 15 minutes now, about 10 minutes. This is an estimate, but around 10 minutes to do something, and it does seem like it might be trying to squeak something in that small time frame. So we'll definitely keep a little bit more of an eye every scan now on that storm. 6:08. Next one should come out in another 2 minutes. Hello, weather is crazy. Maybe a CC drop? Let me check. Yeah, I can't confirm that. It's too subtle. Too subtle. Could be something there. There's not like clearing or anything underneath that spot. There's reflectivity with it. Could be like the beginnings of a weak tornado there near Southgate. But it's just not deep enough. You typically want to see more blue colors in order to be able to confirm. But, if it's still there on the next scan, that might be a weak tornado there near South. Well, with that scan, that new velocity scan, the CC is still behind. That new velocity scan, that might be a little tornado there. So that over here might have been the beginnings of it. Yeah, but it's not there anymore. It's not there under the couplet. Maybe it's still there. It's very choppy. What we're getting is we're getting that dang interference from how close we are to this dang, to that dang tower there. But yeah, you can see we got now some brighter greens right next to the brighter reds. I would not be surprised if it's got tornado warned. That could be a tornado right there. Right there. It's a weak signal, and I usually like to have more, especially when we don't have a tornado warning at all on something to raise the alarm on it. I usually want to be more confident, but that to me looks like it's just too subtle. But if you're near Southgate and you hear a train, or if you're near Headland and you hear train noise in the wind, that could be a tornado there. So near Southgate, Headland, you hear or feel a shake, like they're shaking with tornadoes as it gets closer, little vibrations, you can feel it. You won't feel that with rain. You'll feel it with like thunder, right? But it'll be periodic. But if you feel like a constant shake, like a subtle, constant shake for over like a minute, that means there's probably a tornado nearby, and you'll hear the roar. It sounds like a train, not like a train horn, but like the sound that a train makes. That kind of sound. You hear that, then that means that's a tornado. But I cannot confirm it. We don't have any eyes on the ground here to confirm that this is a tornado, but that's a pretty tight couplet there. Yeah, that doesn't really clear it up anymore. That new debris ball scan. Could be just like the very weak tornado there. Weak tornado debris signature there. Yeah, once you hear it, you'll always hear it. Yeah, you'll know it. It'll stick out to you. It'll stick out to you. But yeah, right there. I still can't confirm that. It's not deep enough. Again, we want to see color, or in order to know if there's a tornado, you want to see colors like this, like blue next to like gray and like black. Or it can even just be blue. But, you know, when it's yellow like this, it's right on the line. It's a tight couplet, though. It's just hard to tell because I know we're still getting distortion from this radar here. So that could easily be just a glitch from that distortion, or it could actually be a signal. It's just an unfortunate spot for this storm to be right now. If we were probably just a couple of miles, like over here near Tumbleton, Alabama, we would be able to tell a little bit better, pretty definitively, I would bet. But right now it's still tough. But yeah, I mean, you can see this thing is definitely getting super cellular again here near Headland, starting to see that inflow wrap in, and this thing is trying to do one last hurrah. Unfortunately, getting real close, or it's producing a very weak tornado right now, but it's just too weak of a signal for me to be able to confirm anything. But if you live in like Walden Pond, or just to the north of Walden Pond, be listening out for that shaking or like that roar train sound that these storms start to make, or tornadoes tend to make. Again, you'll feel like a very subtle but consistent vibration, and you won't feel that with rain. There's no hail in this storm, so you won't feel that with the hail. The thunder, it'll cause vibrations, but it'll end. You know, it'll be periodic, but you know, you hear a very constant and slowly intensifying vibration, and that means it's close. You have very little time to react, but I just can't confirm it. Still a couplet. Going over 431 here. It's weird because in one hand, I definitely, yeah. That's a little bit more convincing there. Man. It's not in the right place, though. This could be a very small debris ball, but it's also kind of dislocated from the couplet. The couplet's up there, but we're still getting that distortion. There's also a little bit of a drop here, which is under the couplet. But again, it's still not deep enough. Still not deep enough yet for me to be able to confirm. There could be a tornado in there. So, you know, right around Henry County, 13, just make sure that you are paying attention. Let's bring this back. Let's bring this back now that we have a couple of scans. Yeah, that's a tornado. That is the most subtle signature. I don't think it is. I really don't think that's a tornado, guys. It's like if on what I usually use to be able to determine whether there's one, like it's like a 50-50 chance because it's right on that threshold. There's definitely something there, but that could be wind blowing something. It could be a small tornado, but it's like when, I guess it's like a moral hazard as well, right? Because there's not a tornado warning on this storm, and if I tell everybody to take cover and there was never a tornado on the ground, it would not be good. But if I'm not seeing anything that would make me break that rule, I guess is what I'm saying. I wouldn't. It's not that obvious of a debris signature to where I would like step out of that norm. But this is where it's located. All right. If there is a tornado on the ground, it's located just to the north of Walden Pond. You know, so if you live in these areas near Tumbleton here in southeastern Alabama, just to the north of Dothan, it's up to you. Could be a gust tornado. There's a lot of leaves in this area. Could be leaves. When leaves get picked up, they can cause a debris signature kind of like that. Very subtle. If you can see the chasers, I wish so too. Thank you, Fairy, for subscribing. Yeah, I think the chasers are... I don't know where they are. Pull them up here, 1 second. The ones I've been watching are on this app. We can't look at their feed. I mean, they're on, or at least, yeah, Brandon and Vince are like right next to this thing. So, if they see something or debris or anything, we'll have a report. But if they're not seeing anything and they're that close to it, then, there's probably nothing on the ground. But they're just now crossing over where the potential damage path would have been if that was indeed a small tornado, and they'll report it. And we'll have a tornado warning here in no time. But if they don't see anything, then it probably didn't do anything. I don't know too much about Brandon, but Vince, he's about as accurate of a storm chaser as you can get. Yeah, latest scan here, a lot broader and weaker of a rotation. Vince is in headland, yeah. Yeah, so what happened there is it looks like that outflow boundary is starting to overtake this storm. I told you it had about 15 minutes left. And, once that cold air starts to wrap into this thing, you can see that outflow boundary right there. But it still had a couple periods where it could bring in that instability out in its inflow. But now it's getting another surge of cold air. So it's most likely at this point gonna cycle and die and become like the others in the line. It'll become one with the line. But we'll watch it. We might get it might have one more opportunity to try to grab onto some instability, but its time is out. That'd be pretty anomalous if it really had enough instability to try again. But we'll keep an eye on it. You never know. Mother Nature always surprises you. Not seeing anything right now? Okay, so that probably wasn't a debris ball then. We're not going to draw right now, guys. So stay focused on the storms. Let's, in fact, go up the line here. Not sure if there's anybody else here from other places, but, if you live in Americus, you got a line of storms coming. No dangerous rotations with it right now near Macon, Georgia. Got a line of storms coming, mainly just thunder and lightning. Shouldn't really be too severe. Not even really seeing much elevated winds with it with the radar. But definitely, some heavy rain is coming there. Eaton, Thompson, Warren's going to be next in line for some heavier rain. Over here near Columbia, a lot lighter rain the further you go north. Once you get into North Carolina and Virginia, a lot lighter. Barely even notice that. Yeah, rotation is really starting to die. And you can see that outflow boundary pretty well there. Surging out in front of it. It might be the end of the storm. This thing could be right on the verge of dying here. This is great. Yeah, we shared it in chat. We'll share it again, just in case you guys are just now tuning in. So a tornado did touch down just a moment ago right outside of Dothan. near Hartford, right here. And that link is in chat. Storm Chaser Vince Welty caught it on camera. And posted it on Twitter. So if you have Twitter, I don't think you have to have Twitter in order to see that link. So click that link and check it out. Definitely a little scary view there. Pretty close. He was pretty dang close to that thing. Pretty dang close. Yeah, latest scans showing that rotation really starting to die now. By the way, guys, if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, we do nationwide coverage. We don't just cover the Southeast, we cover everywhere for severe weather. Sometimes we'll cover snow, but it has to be like a big snowfall for me to cover like a dangerous snowfall that can like cause actual like big problems in an area. Because other than that, we're just staring at the screen looking at snow. But if there's actual like safety tips I can give and stuff, or good radar analysis that could save lives, then I'll go live for snow. But mainly we do severe weather everywhere across the country. So you want somebody that'll pop on whenever there's a random tornado warning. I am live the most. Covered yesterday for 9 hours. Went live randomly today. And I won't bug you with constant forecast about temperatures. You can get that on an app. Unless it has something to do with the weather. Like, temperatures are important for snow. So we'll definitely go over temperatures then. Life-threatening snow. It's a thing, man. A lot of people died in Buffalo when that big pileup of snow happened. I think it was like what, almost like 80 inches. It's 90 inches of snow last year, something like that, something crazy like that. Snow can be deadly. Cuts off roads. If you don't have enough food, you can starve. Freeze your pipes. Pipes burst. You know, dehydration. It can be dangerous. Heck, I didn't even get snow. All we did was get a freeze in Alabama last year, and all my pipes burst, and I'm still waiting to move back into my house. Yeah, rotation's pretty much completely gone. Looks like that outflow boundary got it. Yeah, it was 84 inches. Wow. Yeah, we were live for that, watching it pile up. That was a wicked snowstorm. No, we're going to stop doing worldwide weather forecasts. I thought it would be helpful, but we just didn't reach anybody outside of the United States. And I guess there's just not a lot of people that, unless they're in the United States, that like watch, I guess, weather YouTube or even know whether YouTube exists. But I looked at the analytics. We did not reach any other countries. I think we had like 1% in Canada, and I think that's due. Because he lives in Canada, and I see him in chat. I think that was him watching it. And I think we had like 0.5% from the UK, something like that. We just didn't like, and then no other country, even though we did a world forecast. So I think it'd be something that would be cool, but I just don't think the infrastructure is there around the world for it to really be helpful. Hello. Ice storm in Nashville. Yeah, ice storms can get pretty intense as well. You know, you really don't need that much, because over a bigger surface area, you get enough ice, it'll weigh down the power lines and cause power outages. And sometimes it can cause roofs to collapse, depending on how much ice you can get. Yeah, still 0 rotation on this storm now. Thing is really struggling as it gets ingested. I think that's going to be it for that storm. And then for the rest of the night, it's just going to be that small chance of spin-ups. But it could definitely happen, but just make sure you're weather aware going into the future. Here, like really, let's kind of go over who needs to be weather aware. I think that'll be good. So here we are in the tornado threat. As you can see, really anybody in this circle here. Ah, crap. Try again. really anyone in this area here still needs to be weather aware. I wish I could be with you guys longer, but I, again, have some commitments that I have to do. It's something that I cannot not do. I have to do it. Hey, thank you, Greg and Eminem, for subscribing. I appreciate that. But yeah, so if you live in this area, you need to, you know, be aware. Don't have to lose sleep over this. It'll most likely, the highest chance for anybody in this area is that you're just going to get rain and thunder. There's a small chance for damaging winds and an even smaller chance for tornadoes. So just have a way to get alerts. Turn on EAS on your phone. If you have a weather radio, just have that on in the background and just go about your regular day. Down here, still have a little bit of a 5% left here for Americus and Dawson, Blakely, Chipley. You guys got to be a little bit more weather aware with this, okay? It's, you know, again, we still have this line. I will say the pattern with this line has been nothing. Like once the storms are in the line, nothing happens. As you can see all along it, no rotation. The only rotation that is on this line is very broad because we have this storm that was rotating pretty fast that is slowly unwinding here as it gets ingested there. But, you know, make sure you're still weather aware. You never know. The pattern could change. And if the pattern changes, you want to be able to get those alerts as we go into the future. Blount, Georgia. I don't know where that is. Let me search it for you. Blount, Georgia. Georgia. Ah, man. Did I click the wrong thing? I think I did. Blount, Georgia. There we go. There we go. Yeah, you're in the northern 5%, but that risk is past you. Just past you. So you're good. You're good for the rest of the night. Yeah, I wish I could stay on longer. I really do. I'm sorry I can't. I usually cover these 5% all the way through, but, you know, I still do have a life, and I still have to do some things most of the times. It's not that important. But yeah, this time is important, so. Any snow soon? Not, like, in the forecast, kind of. But it's a little far out. I don't even really want to talk about it. Because, you know, especially with, like, how the models have been handling snow recently, it's been so inconsistent, even 5 days out. I think I'll wait a little bit, like maybe a day or two before I start talking about it, so I can actually report to you guys some somewhat accurate preliminary numbers. Because the models have been really inaccurate with that. All right. Well, I'm going to head out, guys. Sorry that there was a freaking tornado that happened today. You know, obviously what I was hoping is that I wouldn't even have to go live. But yeah, that tornado definitely touched the ground there and definitely might have done a little bit of damage. So, sorry that you guys had to deal with that over there. You know, if you know anybody that lives in that area, make sure you're reaching out to them. You know, people need a lot of help after a tornado comes through. Hopefully it's not too damaging. But yeah, that sucks. But happy Thanksgiving, early Thanksgiving, because I probably won't see you guys till after Thanksgiving, as the weather should be pretty quiet. I might do a forecast, but it'll be still after Thanksgiving. But yeah, everybody have a wonderful rest of your day. If you haven't liked or subscribed yet, now's the last chance. You don't have to, but it does help out the channel. And yeah, everybody have a wonderful rest of your night, and I will see you guys on the next stream. Peace.